Everyone. Thanks for coming out this morning. Thanks for coming out this morning to learn about Portugal and investing in Portugal. I'm going to let our co-chair of our Global Business Council, Holly Gluck, start the introductions, and we're going to have presentations by two real estate experts about Portugal. And then we'll have our two presentations, and then we will have time for Q&A as well.
Thank you,
All right,
everyone, for
Holly.
joining us. I'm Holly Gluck, and I'd like to introduce our first speaker, who is Andrea Cordero. Andrea is a real estate agent here in Westchester County, and she's been here for just about 3 or so years. And prior to being a realtor here in New York, she was a real estate agent for 24 years in her native country of Portugal. Um, Andrea has built many connections, and she is actually doing a lot of referral business. She's helping Americans with second homes in Portugal. And so we welcome everything that she has to share with us today about buying a home in Portugal. She'll talk a little bit about the culture. And she will also speak about her contacts there on the ground for direct and immediate interest in investing in Portugal. We will then have our second speaker, Patricia Barao, who is Vice President of the Portugal Association for Realtors. So let's get started. And again, thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. So, yes, I'm Portuguese. I'm Andrea Cordeiro. I will be talking about Portugal, about some regions, about the weather, about the process buying in Portugal, and giving some tips. So who I am? I'm Andrea Cordeiro. I'm from the Algarve. I'm from the south, and I moved to New York 6 years ago. I met my husband in New York City. So I moved in 2020, and I started doing real estate here. I do in Portugal for more than 23 years. And I took the license I do in Connecticut and in New York. I'm licensed in New York and Connecticut. And I help too. What I do, my niche of market is I help our Portuguese community selling and buying properties in Portugal and in here. And I help the Americans investing in Portugal. And I help them, I give all the information how is living and investing in Portugal because I do real estate there for many years. Um, so at this moment, I'm in New York, like Holly said. I do Westchester County, and I'm gonna be talking about the regions first. I'm gonna share my presentation. I hope I can do this, and you're gonna let me know if you can see. Can you see the presentation? Oops.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
So this is who I am. I spoke already. I'm going to talk about the regions, about Portugal, because it's important. Why? When the Americans want to invest in Portugal, some ones, they know the regions because they have been there in holidays, or they want to invest there and they start looking. They travel from north until south. So we're going to start from Porto. Porto is on the north. Everybody knows Porto because of the port wine, because of the amazing food we have. We have a beautiful architecture there, which we have many Americans already investing in Portugal. They buy the old buildings, they renovate, and then they rent. It's a business already. We have many Americans too investing already in Douro. Douro, it's near to Porto. It's a beautiful area where they produce the wine, and you can do a beautiful trips by boat on the river, and you can visit too by train. It's really beautiful, and we have already many American companies investing here, buying farms and producing wine. Then we have Lisbon. Lisbon is beautiful, it's the capital. It's where the digital nomads they choose to live because of a golden visa we have called D7. We have the downtown of Lisbon. They just renovated the old buildings and they turn in beautiful hotels and the beautiful apartments where many American investors they buy to invest, to rent the properties and make money. We have the beautiful pastéis de nata that everybody knows. We have the fado, like we are talking before with my colleague Patricia. Um, so we have beautiful parks and we have beautiful areas. We have two Cascais, Sintra, and Estoril is areas that many American investors they're looking to buy and to invest because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful areas. We have then down we have Alentejo. Alentejo, it's beautiful, and you have a mix of ocean and countryside, like mountains. It's really beautiful. The food is beautiful. We have Comporta, Troia, and Meliche. This is near to Setúbal, near to Lisbon. It's a beautiful area where we have many actors, musicians, American actors, American musicians. They are investing in that area in Comporta. We have many American companies. They are investing too. They are buying like hotels, some companies. No, I'm sorry. Some properties for they can rent. It's a beautiful. Then you have in Alentejo you have the coast where you have the beautiful beaches with the beautiful fish, beautiful seafood to eat. Then on the countryside you have the meat. It's beautiful meat. We have the pork meat. We have the sausage, and we have to the beautiful towns like you have one called Monserrate that is so beautiful. It's a town like you can see on the presentation is inside. You have a town inside of a castle, and it's really beautiful. Then you have Algarve, where I'm from, where you have many investors too. They are buying there. Why? Because they love to play golf. The wives, they love the beach, the weather, the foods. We have the fish, the seafood. You have an area called Sagres, which in you have surf if you like to surfing. We have many people from Los Angeles and California. They are moving to Algarve and they staying in Sagres because the surfing. Many digital nomads they moved to the Algarve to this area where they can work remotely and they can enjoy the beaches and doing surf. From the Algarve, you are 2 hours driving from Seville, from Spain, which is beautiful too, and people always love because you have a beautiful food too.
Andrea, I'm so sorry to interrupt. We're having a little hard time hearing. If you could just try to speak up just a little bit more, that would
I
be
will
so
do that.
helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
That's
Uh,
okay. It helps when you lean forward.
Thank you. And then you have Azores and Madeira. Azores and Madeira is a two small islands we have. It's beautiful too. We have many Americans investing already in here in Azores and Madeira because of the climate and because it's beautiful. They make many flowers festivals, and Madeira, you have the firework on the New Year's Eve, which is really beautiful. Many tourists they come to see. And because you have a mild climate, many people choose living in here. So, of course, you have another areas in Portugal, like I don't spoke here, but you have like the north, you have Viana do Castelo, which it's growing up a lot, the real estate. I have many clients, they are investing in Viana do Castelo, Americans investing there. Braga and Aveiro. Aveiro, it's and then you have to Coimbra is it's a university city, is in the center of the country where many people too they are buying and investing there because they can rent the properties to the students studying in the college. Um, so the weather in Portugal, it's one of the reasons why the Americans moved there because it's beautiful. Rains, but rains just a little bit in the winter. Our winters is maybe between November and February. When we have lucky, March is beautiful already. So I have here some descriptions about Lisbon. Lisbon can be in the summer between 82 and 95 for nights. We have mild winters there between 50, 59. The Algarve, we have a warm climate. We have sometimes in the Algarve in March, April, you can go to the beach, not swimming, but you can spend a beautiful time on the beach. And we have sometimes temperatures with around 60, 65 in the Algarve. Porto, it's a little bit more cold, but it's great too in the summer. But when it's winter, the winter sometimes can be really cold, can be around 40, 50. And Madeira and Azores, it's a subtropical climate. It's always a beautiful weather. It's why people they choose to go in winter. We have Americans. They are choosing to go to Madeira and Azores between November and February because they love the weather there. You are hearing me? You can hear? I'm talking too fast.
Yes, no, that's fine. Thank you,
Thank
Andrea.
you. Now I'm going to be talking the one of the principal reasons why my clients and why the Americans they choose Portugal. It's the health insurance in Portugal. It's completely different, like from here, from the American. And now I have the experience from the two worlds. So we have two systems. We have the public system and the private system. Public health system is we have from the government is universal health care, where we pay taxes when we work. The citizens and all residents we pay taxes, and we have the right to use the public system. But this public system, it's a little bit, it's bad. It's a little bit because sometimes for you go to the doctor, you have to wait too long if you need to do surgery, or if you find that you have cancer, or if find you have some a serious disease. Sometimes can take months, if not years, for you can get one appointment. So it's this system, it's not so good. Sometimes if emergency service, if you go to the urgency care, you can wait a few hours there, so a long hours, so it's not good. If you are a non-resident, you can have access to this. Of course, you go to the hospital or you go to the Centro de Saúde, you go there and they take care of you, of course, and you pay one amount, but it's nothing like compares to America. And we have the private health insurance. So the difference is the private health insurance, it's great, it's a great system we have in Portugal, and that it's one of the reasons the Americans choose to retire in Portugal is it's cheaper, it's more cheaper than here. I can tell you that you for two people you can that depends of the coverage level, the age, or the health status, of course. But if everything it's okay and around your age on the 50s, 60s, maybe around 100 euros per month for two people, and you can have a great health insurance where you can go to the hospitals, private hospitals, you can go to private clinics, dental service, and you pay a fee, like a copay, like we have here. Sometimes can be 10 euros, 15 euros, 20 euros, depend of your service, or your insurance. And then they take care of you. It's a quickly. Normally, I had that experience now when I was in Portugal 3 weeks, 1 month ago, or 3 weeks ago. I went to a private hospital. They check in, and in 1 hour they took care of me. They saw what I had, and I just paid. And without health insurance. That's the truth, because I don't have health insurance in Portugal now, because I'm living here. So I paid 100 euros, 100 euros, and they took care of me. They made me blood tests, and it's completely different like here. Like in United States, like I pay $1,200 per month for two people. In Portugal, you pay around 100 euros. This is one of the big reasons the Americans are moving when they are retiring, or even when with the golden visa, the D7 or D8, they move to Portugal, because we have a great health system, private, I mean, private health system. Um, Now, I'm going to be talking with you about the steps to buying a property in Portugal. What I'm going to be talking is, I'm going to be talking, okay, like I said, I do real estate in Portugal for more 23 years. And I know the process buying a property in Portugal and buying in here. Don't change too much. Don't change. Change, of course, the law, change the documentation, but the process is similar. What I do to help the Americans investing in Portugal is, the first thing is, when they want to invest in Portugal, somebody talks about Portugal and they want to invest there. The first thing I suggest, I recommend, is go to Portugal, travel to Portugal, travel in different areas from the north until the south. See the areas you like, see where you see yourself. Because if you go to the Algarve, it's touristic, you have golf, you have beaches. If you go to Lisbon and Porto, it's a city. In Alentejo, it's more countryside, it's more calm living there. So I recommend they visit the places. Then I have a team in Portugal. I have colleagues in Portugal from North until Algarve, where they help me qualifying the client and helping me showing the properties. So that I organize I organize the travel to the clients. They arrived in Portugal and they have already a qualified real estate agent waiting for them. Sometimes they're going to pick them to the airport, and they show the areas. They show they're going to take him to have lunch, dinner, and they show the different properties they want to see, if it's for a vacation home, investment, a property, a second home. And after they see the properties, and if they see some property they like, what I do is we tell them the legal procedures. So have important things the Americans they have to know. It's when you want to buy a property in Portugal, when you find a property you like, you should have one attorney. You should hire one attorney. Why? Because you need to have a representative, a fiscal representative in Portugal. This fiscal representative will obtain the NIF. The NIF, it's a tax identification number. You cannot buy anything in Portugal without this tax identification number. If you buy a car, a house, this is a number you take from the finances department. Then with this number, you can open a Portuguese accountant bank, because it's important to have a Portuguese accountant bank for you transfer the funds for you buy the property. You always can transfer the funds to the attorney's accountant, but it's good to, if you have your Portuguese accountant, for then you can pay all expenses you have. And it's important to understand all the legal requirements and paperwork because this is changed a little bit from US. Then, of course, it's the same like here. We make an offer, we negotiate. It's important. We know here, the Americans knows, and that is what I explained to them, that in Portugal, we don't do inspections. We don't have, we do, but it's not usually, it's not normal. We ask to do the inspections after you do an offer, like we have here in US. We have the appraisal. The bank do the appraisal, of course, if they have a loan. Some clients, more English, Irish clients, and Americans, they ask to do the surveyor. The surveyor. In Algarve, we have a lot of that because it's a touristic place. We have many people from England, Ireland, from US too. So they ask surveyors. But I have many clients, American clients, when they buy there, they tell me, Andrea, so now we don't go the inspection. And I said, no, you can do, but it's not normally we do that. We have to have a company who's going to do that, but it's not normal. We have that. Then is to finalize the purchase. It's the closing. The closing, it's different from New York, from US. The closing, we do the closing in private notaries in Portugal. You can do in the attorney office like we do here. We do some closings in the attorney's office, but it's not often. We do more on the private notaries. And pay attention, I'm talking in areas that I do more like Algarve or in the north, in Viana do Castelo and Porto. And then, of course, enjoying the property and what you're going to do. If you're going to live there, if you're going to spend holidays, or if it's investment. The process is simple. It's not complicated if you hire one attorney and if you have one real estate agent qualified and which listen what you want and will be helping you from the beginning until the end. And for the last one, I'm gonna give you some tips, some information for the Americans, like I give to them, like when I have my clients. Uh, I can talk about economic stability, like the Portugal has a growing economy with significant opportunities in tourism, technology, and real estate. That's why we have the investment funds, which you can buy a property with golden visa. With the investment fund, you can invest in a fund in tourism, technology, or real estate, and you can get citizenship. um, Properties values are on the rise, but this is like here in regions like Algarve, Lisbon, Porto, Braga, that is Comporta, Comporta, Troia. This is areas where the prices they are higher, and it's many people is looking for in these areas. Normally, they always see they want residential homes. If it's in Algarve, they're looking for houses near to the sea with sea view, near to the golf course. They like apartments, condos with sea view, with garage and pool is what they ask me all the time. If it's in Lisbon, I have clients asking me for buildings for they invest. They can investment properties. And Porto, I have Americans buying there because they're buying condos for they can turn in vacation rentals, Airbnb. Uh, Financing options. You can do a loan in Portugal if you are American, and if you want to buy a property in Portugal and you want to ask a loan, you can ask a loan in Portugal, in Portuguese banks and international banks too. They're going to ask you all your information from here, your statements, your W-2, and it's an easy process. I sold already a few apartments in the Algarve to some clients from Texas, and they bought condos in the Algarve, and they made the loan in Portugal with Santander and Millennium, and they don't had any problems. It's more longer. The process is more longer than if you live in Portugal, but we can make it. And the currency exchange, you have to be careful because of the euros and dollars. Because when you have, imagine, $2,000 is 1,850 euros. So you need to be careful with the investment returns you do because of the currency exchange. Um, taxes, property taxes, taxation and costs. So we have a property taxes in Portugal called IMI. It's the same like we have here in US, but it's more cheaper. This is a percentage they charge, like depend the areas, depend if it's depend the cities, the towns, and but I can give you one example. I can give you my example. It's here I pay 21,000, and in Portugal, one house exactly the same what I have here, I pay 1,500 euros. So many Americans, they like that. They love because they have beautiful houses there, nice condos, and they don't pay too much property taxes. Capital gains, you need to expect that. Normal is they charge you the capital gains from the 50%, 50% of the money you make. The taxes can be between 13 and 48%, depend of your income. And you have to a rental income tax if you buy a property in Portugal to rent. And you have to pay taxes, and that taxes is 28%. If you are a non-resident, is 28% you pay. And then you have additional costs like a registration, notary, legal fees, and the costs with your attorney and your accountant if you have, a vacation property in in Portugal. Sorry. Residential options. We have Golden Visa program that they finish with if you buy a property in Portugal with some amount, you can have a citizenship. They change that; it's not more possible, but you still having the D7. It's for the nomad, the digital nomads. If you're working remotely from Portugal, and your salaries from US, you have the D8. It's for retiring people who's having some income. And you have to, if you invest in the investment funds in Portugal, and if you invest the minimum 500,000 euros, you can get your citizenship. Holding residence can lead to citizenship after meeting some key criteria, and this criteria is if you stay in the country more than 5 years permanently and with the conditions they ask, after 5 years you can get the citizenship. You can have the Portuguese passport, but this is have some criteria then the attorneys can explain to you. Quality life, it's amazing. Portugal is knowing great for the excellent healthcare, the food is safety. I always recommend to you that you engage with the local communities. Everybody speaks English in Portugal. Okay, if you go to the interior towns, maybe they're not, but they try the best. So everybody, if you engage with the local communities, they're gonna they're gonna help you. And practical steps to invest. So I always, before the people invest in Portugal, I always recommend they research the areas they want to buy. They research the prices of the properties, and normally I give them some report to them, and I help them to make a research about where they should buy, where is a good investment, where they can make some profits, good profits to invest in Portugal. For last one, it's good if you join some groups like in Facebook. You have some expat groups that they support you, they help you. If you ask some advices, if you interact with these expat groups, it's great. It's a great help. So I have clients that they are in these groups and they are very happy because the community, they are very supportive and they help. So I help I helped already dozens. uh, I don't want to lie to you, but I think was 23 or 24 Americans already since the last 2 years investing in Portugal, buying. They are very happy, and they said the most what they like it's the security, the safety, the healthy care system, the weather, the fact they can walk up and they walk on the beach, and the fact that they just can enjoy the good foods and no stress, no working like almost 14 hours like we do here sometimes. And they saying that the Portuguese people, they're welcoming them so great that they feel that they are in home. So I help people. So if you have clients, if you have some people who wants to move to Portugal, who need help to know more about Portugal, will be my pleasure to help you. Will be my you have in here my contacts. I do real estate in White Plains. I'm almost all the time in White Plains. I have a restaurant in White Plains. This is not advertising, but I have so I'm always there. And if you need any help or if you want to meet with me, it will be a pleasure to help you. So I'm gonna give the word now to Holly or Liz. And thank you so much for you listening. And if you have any questions.
Thank you, Andrea. We probably will have a Q&A at the end, but I'd like to introduce and turn it over to Patricia Barao right now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. And I was listening to Andrea speaking, and I was feeling so proud about my country and about being a safe place for you to decide to, if you come to Portugal, to invest, to live, to study, to just to visit. So it is great to see that more and more Americans are discovering Portugal. So Andrea already explained so well so many things that probably we will overlap in a few things, but well, I will do my best, and I'm going to share here a brief presentation about Portugal. Are you seeing my screen? Is it okay?
Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes? Okay, good. So I will try to introduce you to APMIP, which is the association that represents the real estate professionals and companies in Portugal, which I'm the vice president of this association. And I would say that our mission is to promote the transparency, the ethics, and the professionalism for the real estate agents and the real estate stakeholders. So we provide to our members some training programs, some partnership benefits, and of course, a very important network to get to know better the Portuguese real estate market. Talking about me, well, I work in real estate for more than 20 years. I've been leading sales teams in different companies. I worked for 10 years at JLL in Portugal. And last year, I just decided to open my new company in partnership with an Italian group called Deals that works the high net worth individuals that want to invest in Portugal, not only in residential, but in offices in different different areas. I'm also a founder and director of WIRE Portugal, which stands for Women in Real Estate. And I teach some real estate models in the Portuguese university. And for me, this is really, really important, because I think that when you work for so many years in real estate, it's a kind of a mission for you to help young people to start working in our real estate market here. And since I have this mission thing, I've joined APEMIP, and I do my best to help other professionals working and having the best professional training to work in real estate market. So, and 500 years after Portugal discovered the world, I think that the world falls in love with Portugal. And this is the reality, because Portugal, it is a really, really special place to visit, to live, to work, to study, to invest. And Andrea explained that so well. And Portugal has been awarded for so many prizes. We just won an award for the best beach European destination in the Algarve region, in the Algarve, which is the home of Andrea. And we are a super safe country. And this is really, really important for the ones that are visiting us and experience the safety that we present to people. And we have very, very, very good international universities. Portuguese people, they speak English. So it's really a really, really nice country to live and to visit. And this is just a few things about Portugal. We have more than 300 sunny days per year, 75 golf courses, 33 Michelin star restaurants, 10 international airports, and so many other things that are so interesting for you to know better. And to understand the real estate market in Portugal, I think it's really, really important to know the demographics that stands for our country. So we have 10.3 million inhabitants in Portugal, and 40% of the population is concentrated in the two main cities, which is Lisbon and Porto, which is in the north of Portugal. And if you look to this chart, you can see that the trend for the Portuguese population is to decline. And we expect that in 2041, we will be less than 10 million inhabitants. And also, our population is getting older. So in 2022, 23% of our population has more than 65 years old. And the young population from 0 to 14 years old, it's only 13% in 2021. So we can see that our population is getting older, and this impacts the real estate market. And it impacts the real estate market because we have a huge demand and a lack of supply. If you look to this chart, you can see that 2 decades ago, the number of units completed was more than 800,000 units in a decade. And in the last decade, the number of units completed was only 140,000 units in 9 years. We had the financial crisis, we had the increase in tax burden, the insolvency of several developers, and the residual levels of construction between 2011 and 2014. And since 2015, the market started to recover. And the focus was on the urban rehabilitation in the main city centers. And we started to see new and large-scale construction coming to the market, starting from 2019. And if we look to the last 5 years, we can see that the total number of units completed was around 100,000 units. And this is really scarce when you look at the numbers that we are selling in Portugal. Last year, in 2024, were sold 156,000 units, only in 1 year. And the record year was in 2022, after the COVID, that 168,000 units were sold. We can see that the market, it's recovering, but it's really, we've been having a huge demand, and we can see that we don't have enough supply to accompany the demand that we have. When we look to the volume of unit sales, when we look at, if you ask me, so Patricia, last year, what was the volume of the total of the residential units sold? It was 33 billion euros. The 156,000 units sold in total, it was 33 billion euros. It was a record year. And you know why? Because the price per square meter and the price of the real estate increased so much that the total of the volume of the units sold was a record year, even comparing with 2 decades before, where we sold much more number of units, but the volume was quite low. And the market, it's, I would say, the majority is dominated by the domestic buyers. Portuguese people buy the majority of our properties. Last year, 93.7% of Portuguese bought the properties. And then we have around 6% of international market. And you can split 50-50 Europeans and non-Europeans. And there's a big change in the market since 3-4 years ago, that the American people, they started to buy properties in Portugal. And the number of Americans that are buying properties in Portugal, it's increasing by 25 to 30% year per year. And I think that we know the reasons why this is happening, because I think that Portugal, it's quite attractive for the American citizens. If we look to the average price of the units that are sold in Portugal, we can see that the prices are increasing since 2011, and the average increase prices are around 6.7% per year, and we can see that if we look if you look to this chart here, you can see that the average price for a new home in Portugal is around 300,000 euros, and for a used home is around 200,000 euros. And this is the average of the prices of the all units sold in Portugal. If you ask me if this is the average price for a property in Lisbon, I'm sure it's not, because the price per square meter, when we look at the Lisbon center area, in this chart, you can see that in 2023, the average price was around 5,000 euros per square meter, the new homes. And now I can tell you that it's around 6,100 per square meter in the city center of Lisbon. Of course, that in the north of Portugal, the price per square meter is a little bit low, but again, we have this huge imbalance between supply and demand. And the prices continue to grow if you don't have enough supply, and you are having this huge demand for properties in Portugal. I'm not going into much detail on this because Andrea explained so well about the steps of buying a property in Portugal. But here you can have like a resume about the most important steps that you can have when you buy a property in Portugal. The most important thing is that it's a really simple and easy process. My advice will be find someone that can help you finding the best property at the right price, and find also some legal support, because we all have different fiscal situation. It's really important to look at this and try to see what you can do in order to get the best value of that. And it's really important to have real professional real estate agent to help you on the way through, because you have so many information. So and sometimes if you don't have the right people supporting you, this could be a little bit tricky for you, that you are not Portuguese, you don't know the laws, you don't know how to get all the information. And it's really important to have a professional agent like Andrea to support you on that. And I'm here just to support if there is any questions, any information more that you want to know about Portugal. Please, you can count on me.
So, Liz, I think we have a little bit of time to open it to a Q&A. There was one question that I did note earlier when Andrea was speaking, and this would be regarding the lack of inventory and high demand. Are there bidding wars in Portugal, Andrea, like there are here?
Yes, but the problem is in Portugal, the way we work is different like here, and that it's in Portugal, like here you have the dual agency that you do the listing, you have the seller, and then you have the buyer's agent. And if you do a dual agency, you have to have the consent from the both parts. They have to sign a document. In Portugal, no. In Portugal, it's the most of the agents, when they get the listing, they want to have the buyer. So that it's hard, because and that is the problem we have in Portugal is you get the listing, and for you have access to that listing to show to your clients, they hide before, or they create excuses for they sell first, for their company sell first. We have some companies, which I'm going to say the name, that they do that first. They get the listing, and they try to sell inside of their company, their office, and the agent, the listing agent, try to do the both transactions. So that, yes, it's hard already, because we have a lack of the inventory. We have the same problem in Portugal that we have here. Like we have more, like Patricia was saying, we have more buyers than we have listings, properties for sale, and that makes that the prices is more expensive. The prices of the houses is more higher, and but we have the situation too is that the Americans, they go there, and because the prices is different from here it's more expensive, they pay. And when they pay, they make the market change, the real estate market change, if that makes sense. So
Sure.
so the problem we having, and I feel that's why I have a team. I went to Portugal to recruit some people for my company, and I have people in Portugal, in North, I have in Viana do Castelo, in Porto and Braga, I have in Lisbon, I have in Alentejo, and I have in Algarve. I have a team there that I tell them, I have this client, they want to buy, they want to invest, they want this. I need you looking for that. And the most of the cases, they're going to try to get the listing, because when we're going to speak with our colleagues, they difficult the process, or they're saying they
Sure.
have already offers, or they're saying that it's already sold, but it's not. And because we don't have enough listings in Portugal, so because we don't have enough listings, they want to do the two transactions. They want to have the listing and the buyer, because the way we work in Portugal is different here. We don't have the MLS yet. We're gonna have in the future. We have a person who's trying to create. Maybe this is gonna help us in the future, but now it's hard, because when you're looking for properties, when I have clients interested in investing in Portugal, what I do is, or I call direct my colleagues, my team in Portugal, or you have to go to Idealista, or you have to go to the websites of our colleagues. We don't have an
Sure.
MLS yet that we can find the properties and we can schedule the properties direct.
I think we might actually have one more speaker. Liz?
I have a question when you have a chance, when someone finishes speaking. Thank you.
I just wanted to check with Liz. Do we have another person speaking?
I believe, Marissa, were you going to say a few words?
Yeah, just really quickly. Hello, everybody. So glad to
Thank you.
see our partners in Portugal on this call. Speaking of some of the things that you mentioned, rather than showing the presentation that I have about NAR Global, I just want to talk a little bit about what Global is with NAR. It's been an honor and a privilege to represent Portugal, be the global ambassador between NAR and APAMIP and PEER for the last almost 4 years. This is my last year, so I don't know who's replacing me, but hopefully somebody that speaks Portuguese instead of Portuñol. And but speaking to some of the things, yes, multiple listing services on everybody's mind. It's very funny because in the United States, we've seen a movement of some of the larger brands, not going to talk names, but some of the brands that kind of want to do the in-house thing, not expose it to multiple listing service right away. And then in Portugal, Italy, and Spain, my experience has been that everybody there would love to data share. And there's a newer group of agents, I think, that have that spirit of cooperation where they don't mind working with another agent. It's just that change is difficult. And I think that, there are a lot of companies out there that would prefer to keep things in-house. And look, it's double the money if you can represent both the buyer and the seller. But one of the things I was going to mention, I don't think either one of you mentioned, was that a lot of listings tend to be open listings, meaning that several companies have a relationship with that seller. They've been allowed to market it, and then whomever brings that buyer is able to then close that deal. And as a result, I've seen, and in fact, I was in Evora, which I don't think anybody mentioned Evora, and I love that town. It's amazing. It's like you're walking in a mini version of Rome with all the, you walk around the corner and there are these amazing Roman type, amazing architectural stuff. Anyway, but Evora, I was there wine tasting, and there was this German man who said, "Oh yeah, agents, there was this house I wanted and there were 4 agents and they all had it at a different price point. And I worked every agent until I got the price I wanted." So it actually worked against the benefit of the seller. And that's why the multiple listing service for me and cooperation and exclusive listings is the way to go. I've also have to say that we have over 100 international realtor members that are proudly realtors in Portugal. And that's due to Ana and Patricia and Pedro Pereira and Pierre. They love the education. They love the spirit of the Realtor Code of Ethics and being able to work with other agents. And it's, like I said, it's been a privilege meeting all these agents over the year. Basically, my job is an agent from 1.5 million agents in the US will call me and say, "I have a client that wants to buy in Portugal." And then I go, "Okay, where?" And then they give me a little bit more information. And then I go to our partners to find the right agent to connect them with. So I love, love, love the passion on this panel. I really don't have anything else to say other than it's been really a privilege to work with all of you. Patricia, you should sing Fado. She's an amazing singer.
If I can just ask
Maybe
a
next
Thank
question.
you.
time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marita.
Thank
have a
you,
question
Marissa.
for
Also, real quick, I just
Patricia.
want to welcome Christina Prestano, who's our global chair this year, along with Holly, who's our vice chair. Christina's joining us from Rome this morning. So thank you for
Sorry, guys, I just
making it,
landed
Christina.
very shortly, a little while ago. So nice to see everyone. Patricia, hi. Nice to see everybody here. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you. And I think we have one other question. We have time for one other question.
Yeah,
We got from Deb. There's been a lot of media lately that the locals are becoming frustrated with record high sales. Do you anticipate any other barriers to future foreigners investing and purchasing real estate in Portugal? And Andrea or Patricia, I'll let either one of you try to tackle that.
Patricia can say.
Yeah, well, I understand the question. And to be honest, well, I'm Portuguese, and when the prices of real estate or the housing prices increase so much, it is really difficult for a Portuguese family to acquire a home because the supply is so scarce and the demand is so strong that the housing pricing is getting really, really high. And our average salaries are really low comparing to the international people that are coming to Portugal buying property. So this is something that our government is looking at because I think that we really need to do some changes in our structural things. Like we really need some public housing and houses that a Portuguese family can afford. And when the housing price increases so much, like we saw in the chart that I shared with you, it's normal that the Portuguese people started to become a little bit frustrated because they cannot afford a house to live in. And that's the reality. I think that this is the reality in so many different countries and cities in Europe, and I would say in the world, because when you have, this is the market working, like when you have a strong demand and you have a low supply, the prices increase, and guess what? The Portuguese people.
Patricia, Las Vegas is like the Portugal of the United States. We've had the
Wow.
exact same thing happen here. And it's because, the economies of every country is different. The tax structure is different. So in Nevada, we're one of the few states, I think there are 5 of us, that don't have income tax. There's federal income tax, but no state income tax. So as a result, when people are thinking about retirement, they think about, hey, I could save some money. The cost of living is less. And when I first moved here, just to put it into perspective, the average house price was 130,000. Today, it's over 500,000, and that's in the span of 10 years. So I
Wow.
know that you've had a lot of increases, probably even more. But yeah, it's just it is supply and demand, and it really is economics 101.
Yeah, absolutely.
time for one
I have a
question.
question.
Maria has a question. Yes.
So hi, Patricia. So I'm Portuguese. I'm from Lisbon, was born there. I also do real estate there and here. I go
I
there
can't hear
3-4 times a year.
Maria, can you
And
speak up, please? It's very
yeah,
difficult to hear you.
sorry. So I also do real estate there. I'm from Lisbon. I go there 3-4 times a year. And with the association, my question is, I mean, our association here, we see value because they put systems in place. They lobby for laws, like we have a lockbox system that the association manages. We're registered with them. The MLS, the multiple listing, they also help with putting that together. Do you see a point, because I've been waiting, that the association will get more involved? Because once members in Portugal join an association, that'll get even the ones that don't want to share a commission, which has gotten much better there now, they will join because they're getting services, they're getting value for paying dues and being signed on with the association. Do you see that happening soon in the future?
APAMIP is an amazing association. I've had the privilege of going to their
No, I'm not talking.
Emocionate.
No, I'm talking about the Portuguese association.
I'm talking about the
tourism.
Portuguese
Yeah,
Association. I'm
but
talking about
they're
APAMIP.
not registered. Like here, all the agents are registered and we pay dues. And there's systems that are provided that we pay dues because we get these services, the lockbox system, you know, the MLS, the lobbying for different laws, the education, managing the
Yes, I'm
education.
trying to explain that APAMIP lobbies government. Paulo Caiado has done an amazing job, so has Anna, and that of course, it's not NAR because NAR is a US based system, and we have multiple
Even
listing service for many,
HGAR
many
would
years.
take HGAR.
Well, but we have a local, we have a state, we have a system that's completely
Right.
different. So you
Right.
can't really compare one to the other. But I have to speak from experience that APAMIP is that association for professionals in Portugal. And they do an amazing job. Unfortunately, I
No,
don't
I know
speak
they do.
Portuguese, but they have education, they give value to them, and they have
Right.
members. They've opened it up to agents. They used to be only broker only. So, you know, it's progress, not perfection. Of course, multiple listing
I'd love to
service is
see a
something.
lockbox system. That's the one I'm
Well,
pushing for. Because if you're a listing agent there, you have to go on every single listing appointment, you know, and that's
yes, Maria, but the thing is, the open listing makes it impossible for you to have a lockbox.
Right,
You
folks.
have to think that
I'm
a
sorry to
lot of them
interrupt you,
are.
Marisa and Maria. This platform is for Portugal. It's not
yes,
about systems. So I'd
NAR.
like to turn it
Yes,
back.
yes.
I apologize for this, Maria and Marisa, but I think we should go back to the topic that is the great country of Portugal, and we have representatives
Amazing
My
from there,
country.
country, I
and give them
know.
the platform for the discussion. Thank you.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Anthony.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
I
would
think
like,
we're
you know, to it evolve, and I'm not saying it has to be like here. It's my country. I love my country. But you know, it would be nice to get like more systems in place just to make it easier on the agents there. That's what I'm hoping for, to make it more streamlined and easier to do business.
And
Thank
we're
you.
getting there, Maria. But
Obrigado.
like Marisa just said, NAR, it's a huge company with several years, and we just are improving some of our missions here, but we are getting there, and of course that we are aware about the things that we really need to improve. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you,
sorry, but
Maria. And
the regulation in Portugal is different. Lobby, it's forbidden, and we have an institute that works with the government, and then there is APAMIP, so it's different. We have several issues here, okay? So we cannot get there as fast as we want. But we have, as Marisa said, training in the education, low support. So, and as Patricia said, we're getting there, okay? Thank you.
thank you, Anna. And I think we're just over time now. There were a few people who asked for contact information, Andrea and Patricia, if you wouldn't mind putting your email, if you would like to, in the chat, just that way anybody could reach out to you. And thank you all. Thank you, Holly and Christina and Anthony as well. Thank you all for joining us today. It's so great to see you. And we will put this in the HGAR member portal so you can go back and reference it. And we look forward to seeing you all at our global summit in November 7th.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was hoping you would talk about.
yes. We just, I apologize. I stepped away for a second because we're having a little technical issue with our website, but we hope to have it back up and running this afternoon. And you can get the information at hgar.com and the Global Summit. You can register now. It'll be in New York City at Fordham University, and we look forward to seeing you all there. And thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And thank you,
Cheers
Liz
from
and
Portugal.
Thank you.
Obrigada.
Thank you, Patricia. I hope to see you in Houston. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Marissa.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Liz.
Thank you.
Carlos, I
Bye-bye.
see
Hello,
you.
hello,
Bye,
Marisa. How are
Carlos.
you?
How are you? And Rui was here
Just
too.
fine, and
Hi,
you, my dear?
Rui. Love you guys. Are you going to the